Hi, welcome to Enchirus. Today I'm going to show you how to create a Postgres instance in RDS. Before beginning, make sure you are an admin user or you have AWS RDS permissions attached to your user. Okay, now when you are logged in, you should navigate to RDS. Just search for RDS here and you can just open it. Today we'll be creating a Postgres instance with the latest engine, or you can choose a like any engine version which you want. Okay, when you are into the RDS screen, okay, just see like by default you would have a subnet group created for you. If not, it will be automatically created when you're creating the database. Other than that, there's one more thing, that the security group which you use should have the permissions for 5432 port. Currently we'll be using this port for Postgres database. Okay, let's click on create database. Okay, yeah. There are two options, standard create and easy create. Let's go for standard create because we need to do some configurations to make it accessible. As suppose you do not have access to this VPC, right? Then if you go with, if you do not make this database publicly accessible, you will not be able to connect to it. By making it publicly accessible, you will be able to connect to your local workstation if you do not have access to the VPC uh, settings. Okay, now I've selected PostgreSQL. I've selected standard create. Now to the versions, there are different versions. You can select either of them. Let's go with the AWS recommendation 12.5 R1 or anything else you go on. And there are three templates: production, dev, free tier. There are various instance sizes on this. So let's go with free tier. Free tier will be t2.micro. And let's name our database as Postgres here, and master username something. Let's name this also something. Okay, this here is basically a master password for your database. When you are trying to connect to it, you need to give this as a username, or you can just select, you can give your username also. Okay, let me just, okay, I think okay, okay, uh, yeah, this should be good. Yeah, for master username you can select your own name, or let's select this and Kairos here. And master password, I've given something. This does not conform to any, like, say, password specialty check. You can give anything here. And here comes the free T2 micro is free here. Or if you had gone for the M class, which is for production, or R class for dev testing and all, you can do that. And minimum allocation is 20 GB. And if you are launching an RDS instance for the first time, you get 750 hours of free tier, which you can use. If you can, when you're not using them, you can just stop them. But whenever in online, you can use 750 hours of RDS instance for free. Let's disable auto scaling. We do not need. This will not be exceeding 20 GB. Now this is the critical connectivity connections which you should make sure it's to the, like, you should follow like what I'm doing. Like in default VPC, I'm selecting the default VPC or any VPC like which has public subnets, right? And subnet group, as all the subnets here in my in my VPC are publicly accessible. So I have created there's a default subnet group created here, which is a public subnet. Okay, I know this is a bit confusing, so let me show you once. Okay. So what subnet group does is it attaches for which subnet your RDS instance will be created. I have attached all subnets because my all are in my publicly accessible. Okay, now let me show you how to create a DB subnet group. Okay, DB subgroup. Let's do not choose a VPC. I think this is my default one. Let me check once. Yeah. And my availability zones, like which availability zones I want to create this into, like optional, it will be optional to choose from, right? And like in each availability zone, which subnet group, like there can be multiple subnet groups in each availability zones, right? You can select them and you can create. That's a subnet group. Like if you want to create it into a private subnet group or into a public, this is how you choose it. You have to select it, you have to create a subnet group. Now, coming to publicly accessible, this is must because we'll be connecting through our local workstation. Okay. Now, security group. For security group, I'm selecting a default, and make sure your default security group has 5432 port uh, accessible from anywhere, or from, at least from your machine IP. But currently, if you see, I have I made it accessible from everywhere. Like inbound rules here, all traffic from everywhere. This is not advisable at all, but when you're doing any small testing, it's okay. But make sure you delete your resources, because resources can be accessible from anywhere. If the person has the right credentials, they can access your database from anywhere in the world. Okay, this is the default security group connected to this VPC group. Now let's come here. And no, I don't want any preference. If you want to, you can set the preference depending on a subnet group, whatever is like AZ you have added here. That's not required. Okay, any additional configuration? No, let it be the default port. And there are three ways of authentication: password authentication through your workbench, and or IAM authentication. This is for role-based access, and password and Kerberos. This is where the much like database default authentication system is used, and we connected with that AD here. If you can get more information if you click on info here. Yeah, you can see, like you can see we can connect with my AWS managed Microsoft AD. Now coming to additional configuration, let's create a database. Let's name this NKRS DB. Okay, no, I don't want any backups. I don't want any performance insights. I want to make it as minimalistic here. Okay, as will be deleted. And if you want to have a deletion protection so that no one can delete your database, you can enable this. Okay, this looks good. Just make sure you note down your username password, because that's very vital. Okay, let's go create database here. Yeah, it takes about roughly 15 to 20 minutes. You can just take a coffee break and come back, and your database would be created. Now, connecting to it is the another story. Now, how do I connect to it? See, AWS will provide you with a host name, endpoint address, on port will be mentioned here. The thing here is I need a workbench. What default users use here is PG admin. See, PG admin is good, but like see, like if you're a DB engineer, right, you won't be working with a one single database. You will have a Microsoft Workbench, you will have a PG admin, you will have something for SQL. That makes it very confusing. So what I recommend is try using SQL Electron. SQL Electron, once you use it right, it's game changing. Just search for SQL Electron here and just go to the first link, the GitHub link, and see what SQL Electron allows. It supports Postgres, MySQL, MariaDB, MS SQL, Cassandra. You can download the GUI or the term file for Mac. It's supported in Mac, Linux, Windows, everywhere. You can download the GUI, or you can see, like if I download the GUI here, yeah, it will take me to see these are the various settings. You can download them. For Mac, tar files is there. For Linux, if you want to download the RPM or the tar, also you can use there. Windows, we have the .exe here. After downloading, you can install them. This is how the UI looks here. Let's suppose now I'll show you how to add a host. Now, when you click on add a host, see what are the hosts which are accessible. MySQL, Postgres, Microsoft SQL Server, SQLite, Cassandra. MariaDB is also supported. It's not mentioned, but it's supported. Okay, now let's wait for RDS. Okay, let's close this tab first. Now let's take a quick pause here, because yeah, let's take a quick pause. Yep, it's been launched. Okay, I think it took around 7 to 8 minutes. Okay, when we click on this, let's see if recording is working. Yep, it's working. This is the endpoint address which we have. This is the port number, and we see database public accessibility is yes. I think we can modify this later to no if you want. Okay, now let's select our endpoint. Let's come to our workbench here. Let's select Postgres SQL. Let's give a random name, Postgres demo. Let's give this as an address. We do not have any domain. Username, you must remember which we had given there. We had given NKRS, and password. which we had said. Okay, now initial database is necessary. We created an initial database, right? And Kairos, I think. Okay, now we can do a test here. If you do not remember, okay, and Kairos DB, I think. Okay, if you do not remember what, okay, I'll show you that way also. Like suppose sometimes we do not remember like which database we created, right? We can, like there's always a default databases, list default databases which I created. One of them is Postgres. Let's select Postgres as our DB there and run this. Yeah, and save this here. And we can connect. It was in Keras DB only. Okay, now let's, as you see here on your left hand side, we have three databases. One is two are default and one is one which we created in Keras DB, Postgres, RDS admin. And when you can just right click on this and we are inside the DB. So whatever command we run of creating a table or doing a show query, we can just access it from here. Now, suppose see there are key advantages of using SQL Electron. You can get queries in form of pre-queries. Like we can have like standard, like suppose you can just right click on it and show select rows within limits. Like we can create our own statements here. It's very easy. Say select from, we can just run here, or like you can create your own database here. Suppose, okay, create database Keras 2. Yep, we have a second database in Keras 2 here. And you can create your tables here. You can create functions if you want. And also, see, this is how you can now, if you can just log out here, or you can disconnect. I'll just close the connection, and you can add a different MySQL workbench, MySQL database here. That's how easy you can maneuver, and you can have multiple connections to multiple database and access it at the same time. This is the advantage of using SQL Electron as workbench. Now you have your Postgres connected. Now you can just run your queries, add data, connect it with your application, do some local testing. Okay, now that's about it. I hope this video was informative, and if you have any queries, please feel free to mention them in comments, and I'll definitely help you resolve them. And like if you want me to make any further videos in database such as in MariaDB or SQL Server, definitely you can mention them and I'll make it for you. Okay, thank you.